Happy Spiritual Sunday to you all, and welcome to a new world. You know, we're about to, in our affirmation, consciousness is everything. The Kabbalists teach us when you wake up in the morning, first thing when you wake up, are you appreciative of the fact you woke up? And after that, so many of you probably thinking that Modeh Ani, if you know the Kabbalistic verse, but just to realize, first thing in the morning, to appreciate the fact you have an opportunity to remove more of your darkness, more of your blockages, more of your negativity, more of your chaos, and actually express more of your creator-given, if you will, God-given potential, power. And therefore, when we wake up, we want to understand it's a new world. We're a new us. Not that what's happened before is erased, not what our particular mission is gone or changed, but that we should look at it in a way of it's a reset button, meaning you wake up in the morning, simple terms, forget the negative things you did yesterday. Remember the good things you did. Remember your true mission here to ultimately become completely, absolutely, eternally fulfilled and unified with the one soul, the one vessel the Creator created in the endless world that in this world today looks like 8.5 or almost 8.5 billion people. That's it. So it's like another opportunity. You know, when my kids play video games and they play whatever these combat games, so they go and and then when their character gets shot or gets killed, it sort of goes quiet for a moment, and then it wakes up again and they have another opportunity. Did they forget their mission? No. Did they forget the mistakes they made, if you will? Like how to navigate better? That's what we should be thinking about. Not holding ourselves in guilt and shame about what we may have done yesterday, but awakening ourselves to say, okay, I know where I have a weakness of consciousness. How can I strengthen it? And how can I share and shine that light of that strengthened, elevated consciousness out to the rest of the world, which is really just me. Really just me. And so it's not easy, and of course, there's only cause and effect. So I opened this up today, and this is the message I'd like to share with you from Karen. We all want to do what we say we're going to do. We have such good intentions, but life gets in the way. Things come up. We get distracted. Time goes by. We think of other things. It happens to all of us. No matter how important something is to us, sometimes we simply don't make it a priority. Maybe it's a task that requires a lot of effort, or maybe the timing isn't right. But if something is truly important, we must make the commitment and stay focused and take the actions we need to take, even if it means going the extra mile. Taking action generates the extra energy we need to overcome whatever obstacles arise. So, Karen's saying in another way, taking action generates the extra energy we need to overcome whatever the obstacles are that may show up or may have been there. In a simple way, we decide something is important enough that nothing's going to stop us. And this is why, as we're about to do now, we're going to strengthen our consciousness and strengthen our commitment to the true mission for which you and me and every human being on earth came to this world for. Because that's the one thing in common to every person on earth, no matter who they are, what they are, even frankly, whatever they have come to believe. The truth is the truth, and it has to be universal. And as we often say, the one thing that's in common to every person on earth is the soul. And since the soul comes from one creator, it all has one objective. And therefore, what you and I are learning here is what that objective, what that mission that we came into this world is, how to achieve it with greater personal effort rather than having to be painfully reminded from the outside. That's, if you will, a subset of that one universal thing for all of us, the light of our soul. And its operating system and its mission is the same for everyone. We may have our own unique ways and circumstances in which to apply that and achieve that, because we have tread the path uniquely from the beginning of the Garden of Eden, you and me as Adam and Eve, till this moment, which we're going to also explain in a little more depth today. And my intention, and if you will, prayer for all of us, is that it will impact us on a heart and soul in such a way that it literally wakes us out of our illusionary 1% indoctrinated illusion, false consciousness. So let's start awakening more truth. So we're going to say it together, and strengthening our consciousness and our commitment to live into our true potential. Consciousness is everything. I raise my consciousness today to see the miracles and wonders of life. I commit myself to behave with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. And as Karen mentioned, as you start to do that more and more, shining that extra light gives you greater power to overcome the challenges of the opponent, Satan, the adversary, ego, evil inclination, whatever other name you want to give it. It's all the same. It's that AI program in our head that we programmed to give us a challenge to achieve our goal, and thereby beating the opponent, overcoming, gives us a true sense of lasting fulfillment, because we are now manifesting more and more of the light that's in our soul till we're revealing it 100%. So let's start today with just obviously a simple thought. Is there anything in your life that is confusing? Is there anything in your life that is painful, uncomfortable, chaotic? Anything in your life, not people, anything in your life that's making you feel stressed out, anxious, worried, fearful, etc. And then we can expand it out to the world. Do you see things in the world that look like they're just pure harmony, order, love, kindness? Or do you see the world essentially as a macrocosm of what you and I and most people on earth are going through individually? Chaos, confusion, discord, divisiveness, stress, anxiety, etc. So I wanted to start with an absolute truth. Even in a simple, almost 1% way, we have to acknowledge that this statement is factual, physically and spiritually. Then we'll get into the details of it. But the true understanding why you are in the circumstances you are now, why the world is in the circumstances that it is right now, is because of every choice, every decision that we've made since we were 12 or 13 years old. Every aspect of your life, my life, and the world, as we perceive it, as we are experiencing it, is the sum total of every decision we've made since we were 12 or 13. Every choice. And just to put it in these terms, you and I being here together is also part of that. Every decision we've made has led us to this moment right now. And therefore, it's important that we understand the grander scheme of cause and effect. Every choice we make sets a pattern in motion, cause and effect, that leads us to on a certain path, if you will. Then, metaphorically, comes another crossroads, and we have another choice to make. Do we go this way or that way? Do we make this choice or that choice? Every choice we make has a specific consequence already within that choice. Like the Rav and Karen always taught us, Rav Ashlag also spoke about it, like the seed. If you take an orange seed that you're thinking to plant in the ground, that seed, even really before you plant it, but let's say as you're planting it, already has contained within it the root, the trunk, the branches, the leaves, and the fruit. It's already there. You plant it in the ground, that's the cause, setting in motion the process by which the root, the trunk, the branches, the leaves, and the fruit will be manifest. So too, every decision, every choice we make has already, in that seed, all the rest that will become ultimately manifest. The beauty in terms of spirituality, Kabbalistically, yes, along the way in the process of manifesting that thing, we can make another choice. We can set another causation in motion that will alter the direction of what was going to be. We can make another choice before the ultimate consequence occurs. We can make another choice that will take us away from chaos, away from difficulty, away from pain and suffering, into a pathway, a life of greater peace and harmony, serenity, blessings, prosperity, love, health, protection, all the good things of the light. We can do that. In order to do that, we want to understand in more depth what these choices are made of. So, simple terms, every action we do that is the ultimate seed of whatever the destiny and the consequence of that is going to be, every action we do is based on a choice we make, right? And a choice means between at least two things. You can choose this or this, A or B, simple terms. Each one has its own unique consequence. Just like you're driving down the street. You're driving down the street on the way somewhere, and you come to a T intersection, meaning there's nowhere to go forward, you have to go right or left. Well, whichever choice you make of the two options, right or left, each one has its own consequence. Left goes this way, right goes that way. And whatever is there on that street or down those streets, that's what you're going to experience. Now let's ask ourselves, so how do we make that choice, A or B? We make that choice based on a decision. We make a decision, right or left, A or B, this way or that way. We decide. How do we decide? We decide by consciousness, no? Think even in that simple term. You come to the street, and let's say you thought you could go straight, but now you've come to this T intersection. So you think to yourself, if I make a left, this and this is going to happen, it's going to go this way, whatever, I'll have to go down the block. And however you decided in your mind, you think about what the effect of that, or what the general direction. Then if you go to the right, you think the same thing. If I go to the right, then this, and this is where I'm going to go, and then I have to go like this, that, or the other thing. So the options, the choice between those two things are presented, and you have to make the decision which is going to be better for you, which is going to be more advantageous for you, which is going to make you feel better in the moment. Right or left, A or B, whichever option you decide. So why are we all here now? Like we said in the beginning, every choice, every decision that we made since we were 12 or 13. We came to a fork in the road, so to speak, whatever it may have been, whatever was presented to us. And those options, if you will, may not have been of our choosing, may have just arose in our life. A major turning point in my life, I've shared with you before, is when my mother left the world. In my mind, yes, once we knew she was sick, she was on the way. But let's say a couple years before that. In my mind, okay, my mom would just go on. Past that time, that's what I was thinking. So I didn't choose for her to have her sickness and leave the world. It was presented, it arose in my life. But once it arose, now I had two options. Fall into despair, etc., or find a way to rise above, to transcend the negative option for what I would now call the option of the light. I had to make that decision. And my decision, yes, was based on my consciousness, whatever level that was at that moment. And in my case, it was choosing not to go the way I thought I was going, into medicine because I wanted to alleviate pain, suffering, and death. But the realization that came at that moment when she passed, that medical science at that moment, and technically still to this day, doesn't have the technology how to remove pain, suffering, and death. Yes, they can do it temporarily, and I'm not saying if you're newer to this, I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form not to see a doctor or not to use medical science. Just understand, though, it's a temporary fix that, as I've learned in my almost 40 years in the center, that temporary relief gives us the opportunity to strive harder in our spiritual growth, to assess more clearly and Kabbalistically the mistakes I made that led to those situations, and then the consciousness and the power to overcome those mistakes, repair those mistakes, and go on a higher, more elevated, more blessed, light-filled path, destiny. Fundamentally, we're choosing what we feel is the best. And therefore, as you and I learn from Kabbalah 1 forward, there's two options to what's better for the person in the moment. There's the immediate gratification, reactive we call it, that's, yes, immediate gratification, but temporary. And somewhere as a consequence of that, another opportunity to repair the mistake, because reactive behavior does not repair the mistake, does not change consciousness, does not, if you know the term, break the curtain, the klipa, the shells that are hiding our light. It just gives us temporary relief, but not a breakthrough, not a true transformation. Then there's the other, the proactive, which is choosing short-term and technically immediate discomfort, but choosing short-term discomfort in order to share our light transformationally, shining light in ways, in frequencies, if you will, that we didn't want to do when that situation arose, when our button was pushed. Situation pushes your button of fear. The reactive thing is just to run or aggressively confront it. Not to identify fear as holding you back, holding your soul in jail, in prison. No, just instant gratification. Scream, yell, fight or bite, or run away. So then the fear blockage is still there, but temporary relief. And we know Kabbalistically what's called tikkun, the repetitive challenges that are based on our klipot, on our buttons, have to show up again and again and again and again. This is why even though we say we learn history not to repeat it, you look back, history's repeated itself since the time of Adam and Eve. We're still making the choice of reactivity. We're still making choices of getting. Give me now what I want now, the way I want now, how I want now, without regard to what's coming down the line. Then there's the proactive, which we're learning, which is no, pause. This is in my movie. This has come to me to point out to me from my soul's consciousness what is blocking my blessings. What is keeping a person in the path of chaos, pain, suffering, difficulties of the same level? No change, no transformation, just temporary relief. We are learning and making the effort, and we have the tools to empower us. Zohar, 72 names, Ana B'Koach, the various things we learn in the center, awaken the light to help us overcome that thought of instant gratification for long-term fulfillment and transformation. Greater blessings, less chaos, more strength, more awareness. And if you break it down, what is the choice? Simple. We can listen to the voice of our soul, or we can listen to the voice of the opponent, the AI program. That false, artificial voice that we programmed to give us an option. In other words, if there was no AI program in our head, the opponent, Satan, the adversary, etc., if it wasn't there to say, no, seek instant gratification, then everybody would just be doing the light thing, shining light, shining light, shining light, but there'd be, in essence, really no consciousness of it. There'd be no effort. So as the saying goes, and we'll put it in this frame, easy come, easy go. If it's easy, just, oh, let's do this, this, and this, easy come, then easy it goes away. And this is why, to truly manifest lasting blessings and fulfillment, we have to make an effort to overcome the obstacles, overcome the challenges, transcend, overcome the circumstances, the situation. Like we often say, oh, somebody is arguing with somebody else, you have a friend, say, oh, this person, blah, blah, blah. Say, you know what? You have to take the higher road. You have to be the bigger person. What does that really mean? Overcome the button that's being pushed. Instead of being judgmental and angry and jealous and upset and resentful towards that person, no, be the higher person. Take the higher road. Have compassion, forgiveness, tolerance. You and I are learning the ultimate extent of that and the ultimate power of the light in achieving lasting fulfillment. So in the end of the story, that's it. It's a choice between those two voices, the voice of our soul, the voice of the opponent. Two options, choices. The decision we make is determined by which voice we listen to. The voice of the opponent just has more of the same challenges because the person didn't grow. So the same thing happens over and over again. The proactive choice, listening to the voice of our soul, elevates us to a higher level, puts us in a level, in a world where there's less chaos, less negative people, negative things, etc., greater peace, harmony, and strength. Yes, and then there's another T section, there's another choice coming to help us go to the next level up. Because until we clear all the shells that are imprisoning our soul, all the klipot, there's got to be a challenge, voluntary or involuntary, to give us the opportunity to break through those shells, to break through that darkness. And as we all understand, light is the only thing will take away darkness. So as we're listening to our soul's telling us and giving us encouragement, shine light. Here's darkness. Here's where your blessings are hiding. Here's where the cover of darkness is hiding the answers to the problems you have at work or with your family or with your health or with your prosperity or anything in life. And when you shine light, the cover of darkness goes away and reality, the truth, is illuminated. And you've just moved up to the next higher level of consciousness. Because instant gratification is so tempting, and unfortunately, the vast majority of the 8.5 billion people on earth are not learning from the Kabbalah Center. They don't have the technology. Everybody has a desire, but they don't have the technology and understanding that we do. How to make our spiritual effort and choices more efficient, more effective, more focused on, more and more being on the path of the light to achieve our peace of heaven on earth, to achieve greater peace and harmony and love and prosperity and health and all the good blessings. Because we've so often, in this lifetime, previous lifetimes, all the way back to Adam and Eve, unfortunately, given more and more power to the instant gratification. And I'll share with you a deeper understanding, unless you've studied in the center the story of Adam and Eve that's specifically related with this. So, and those of you who may be newer, the Kabbalists teach, yes, there was an Adam and Eve, there is a Garden of Eden, all these people, the biblical people, they existed, etc. But what the Zohar gives us through the surface level understanding of the 5 books of Moses is the technology and the way the universal system works and can be seen at work through the stories. So here's Adam and Eve. They're told by God not to eat of the tree of knowledge, good and evil. Then there's this thing called the snake, which you and I know is the AI program that we put there, like we said, to give us free will, free choice. And a little deeper understanding, because you don't read it literally in the 5 books, but what the Zohar says is the snake did taunt Eve. Well, Eve, look at this tree. No, if you eat of the tree of knowledge, good and evil, you'll be like God, you'll know everything that God knows, and you're supposed to be like that. What the Zohar explains, when she said, no, we're not supposed to eat of it, we're not supposed to touch it, because we will surely die. So it says that the snake, which you and I have come to learn, if you've listened to Spiritual Sunday, the snake was also of human form. It wasn't a snake like we think today, the snake crawling on the ground. And so this opponent, adversary, pushed Eve and she touched the tree of knowledge, good and evil. And she didn't die instantly. So that's when, as it works with us, right? When your button's pushed, what's the first thought in your head? The louder voice, unfortunately, is the voice of the opponent. Scream, yell, run away, watch out, instant gratification, whatever it's going to do to make you feel comfortable, because in this moment you're not feeling comfortable. Because we want instant gratification. They instantly, so to speak, took away our comfort, so we want to instantly get it back. So the opponent, the adversary, pushed her, she touched it, didn't die. So he says, see? God's not really telling you the whole story because you didn't die instantly. So then all the other things that you were told, it's not always so true. And therefore, you and I, as Adam and Eve, because we're all part of those beings, we chose to eat of the tree of knowledge, good and evil, which is the world of chaos. Good and bad, up and down, health and sickness, etc. You and I know that in truth, everything, if the light is infinite, if a person doesn't believe the light is infinite, all bets are off. See you later. You don't need any of this because it's going to be just a world of chaos. Eating of the tree of knowledge, good and evil, means that we accepted the illusion of the 5 senses. Adam and Eve, in just a quick, bigger picture, they were supposed to be immortal. They were created immortal. So yes, they didn't die immediately, but let's say the 1,000 years they were supposed to live, which would have then initiated true immortality, eternal, good, amazing life. They didn't die instantly, but they did die. So like we said before with the seed, the fact that they gave in to the instant gratification, they gave into the physical, illusionary, material world over the spiritual choice that would have brought them greater blessings. That choice is the same choice we're making now. That choice did bring death. In the action they did, the choice they made, the decision they made, as you and I do every day, hundreds or thousands of times. Within that choice and that decision was already the seed of death, as opposed to immortality. So we want to wake up and we want to remember remind ourselves constantly, because those two streams of consciousness speaking to us 24/7. Unfortunately, the way people have chosen, decided options in their life, actions in their life, have allowed the voice of the opponent in their head to be much louder than the voice of their soul. Like the voice of the logic and the physical illusionary 5 sense choice, let's say, over the voice of their soul that we've often called the 6th sense, or the true voice of intuition. So we want to awaken ourselves. So if you go back to that story, when the opponent pushed Eve into the tree of knowledge, good and evil, and she didn't die instantly. She had the choice, as we do, pause. Do I want to believe the voice of the Creator, the voice of my soul, that says, yes, surely there will be death, and there was? Or do we want to listen to, heaven forbid, the voice of the opponent that said, look, nothing happened right now, so just keep doing the same thing? I know it's kind of whatever, out of our realm, because that's not us, but let's look at it. Somebody who robs a store, whatever, steals. They steal once, they don't get caught. Ooh, see, they didn't get caught, so they can do it again. And they don't get caught, they can do it again. But eventually, whether physically, but for sure spiritually, every time they're stealing and going for instant gratification, there's another form of chaos shows up, another form of chaos, because that's the seed they're planting. But the illusion says, no, they didn't get caught, they got away with it. Somewhere down the line, because it's cosmic law, cause and effect, they will get caught. They will get caught, they will suffer the consequences of their actions. So you and I want to make sure that we are awakening the consciousness that when Satan points out tree of knowledge, good and evil, the instant gratification, we want to say, oh, pause. Thank you for pointing that out, because that's where I know my next blessings are hiding in the darkness. So let me consciously beam some light out of my heart and soul out to all those people, places, and things. And now remove the darkness and add to my life greater health, peace, love, prosperity, protection, clarity of consciousness, the higher choices, the higher decisions, etc. We want to use the opponent for our own good rather than being used by the opponent. Because we must remember, when the Bible says we're created in the image and likeness of God, the Kabbalistic code means that every word, thought, and action we have is using the power of the Creator, which is the power of creation, to create whatever comes next. We are creating it, as we've said today, and we've said in every class and everything you learn in the Kabbalah Center. We create. Reactive choices are using the power of creation for that person to just create more challenges of the same over and over and over again till they wake up and say, no, it's only about their transformation. The other person has their own movie. They're creating their own world. I want to create for myself a world of greater light, illuminations, and blessings, which eventually then will wake up everybody else, because the light emanating will wake up their souls, and they'll also come to want to be more and more on the path of the light. Every thought we have, every action we do from those thoughts, that decision is creative. And this is why we say in our affirmation, consciousness is everything. Couple quick examples. The placebo effect. I grew up, my father was a pharmacist, so I'd heard about the placebo effect for years and years and years before I came to the center. But coming to the center, I realized, what is it really saying? Mind over matter. If a person believes, whatever, sugar water is an amazing new drug to cure whatever disease they've got, then they're activating consciousness because they have that true belief in it. All the internal spiritual systems take place to heal that disease. And there's many cases of that. But it's just sugar water or saline, whatever. How many people have we heard in the last, 20, 30 years, people who were paralyzed through an accident and they were determined they were going to walk, they were going to overcome it, whatever it is, and they did. And the medical science says, wow, we have no idea how they did it. Well, you and I do, because within us is the power of the Creator. And with the true committed consciousness of certainty, activating all the spiritual processes within us to make it happen. How about this? What's an inventor? An inventor, somebody comes along, they get an idea, their soul shows them something that's available in the cosmos, and they say, oh, I'm going to do this. And people say, oh no, can't be done, never been done, hasn't been done, not going to be done. But a true inventor is somebody who doesn't accept the illusion of the world. They have committed themselves to that vision, that thought, that download that they got to make it manifest. Because the download comes from the 99%. It's existent, but we have to make it manifest. Like you get a good idea. If it stays an idea, it's what the Zohar says. The road to hell paved with good intentions. You have to make it manifest. Make it manifest. Now you have blessings and there's good for other people also. The Rav and Karen, especially for me, my most important, not listening to the naysayers or Satan, the opponent. They knew that this wisdom had to go to the world. And they were willing to overcome all of the verbal, written, and physical resistance, objections, and violence to bring it to you and me. They did not accept it has never been done before, it shouldn't be done now. No, they knew, as every great Kabbalist have in all of history, the Zohar, the book of the Zohar, the teachings, must go to every human being on earth. And thank goodness they did, because we're the beneficiaries of it. Yes, today we don't have the same challenges they did, but in our own life, they're saying, we have our own challenges. We have our own choices to make. We have our own decisions of the two options, and that's all there is in every situation of our life. Reactive, proactive. The way of the opponent, darkness, chaos, pain, and suffering, or the way of the light, temporary discomfort for long-term blessings, guidance, clarity, fulfillment. So consciousness is everything. Wherever you let your consciousness go or / unconsciousness, so will go your life. So today, choose today, decide today, commit yourself to the path of the light, the path of emulating the Creator, shining light 24/7, unconditionally to every person on earth, every person, because it's to your benefit. This is choosing to manifest all your blessings. This is you deciding and choosing blessings in your life over the curses and the chaos in your life. This is your choice of sharing your light instead of instant gratification of getting. This is you shining light into the world unconditionally 24/7. This is you choosing your soul over the voice of your opponent, over the illusion, over the falsehoods that we've been brainwashed to accept for thousands of years. This is you choosing the voice of your soul over the voice of the opponent. And this is you choosing to create heaven on earth over hell on earth. God bless. Okay. Yes. Oh, here. So I want to thank you and encourage you. I know many of you are regular contributors to the center. I just put the giving site. Give with consciousness, understanding that as we spread the Zohar around the world, we are illuminating every human being on earth. We are awakening their soul. And in awakening their soul, I just want to put in your mind, because this has been something I've become more and more clear about. I mean, it's a simple thing. We all can shine light, and we're going to use one of our 72 names here in a moment to shine light on every person. It's something we're all capable of. What makes Satan, the opponent in our head, have some power over that is people have allowed the opponent, the snake, the adversary, to make them believe if they shine light on people, it's just going to bless them and exempt them from all their negative behaviors. No, it's not true. The opposite. As you shine light to awaken the soul of people, which, number one, there's only the choice: connect to their klipot, connect to their negative behavior with reactive thoughts and actions, or connect to the light of their soul. It's the only option we have. There's no something in the middle. There's no justifying our hatred of terrible acting people. No. When it goes up and vibrates into the universe, hatred is hatred. Greed is greed. Ego is ego. There's no vision, if you will, or judgment from above that this hatred is okay, that hatred is not. This greed is okay, that greed is not. Energy is energy. Darkness is darkness, and light is light. So it's to our advantage first and foremost. But as you scan your Zohar, or you're spreading the Zohar, help us. Contribute to the spread of the Zohar. You speed up the process of awakening the light of the Creator in people, and they will begin, as you and I have, and probably do also, feel the internal pain of their negative actions. And as that pain is awakened and strengthened, as Rav Asha calls it, till it's overwhelming, then they will change. Meanwhile, you are being more blessed, you are being more protected from the darkness of the world, and you are being protected and strengthened to overcome the voice of your personal AI program, Satan, in your head, opponent. So whatever you can give, and give often, whatever, $2 here, $20 there, $1,000 here, whatever you're capable of, but do it regularly. Because from your point of view, it's, as I like to look at it, it's like paying your cell phone bill. You want to have access to the network of your cell phone company all over the world so you can talk to people all over the world. You pay monthly. The Kabbalah Center is a worldwide network of the light of the Creator, including every human being on earth. And therefore, everything that you donate, everything that you give, is connecting you to that worldwide spiritual web of light and spiritual awakening and love and blessings. Okay. So I want to thank you for those of you who do give regularly, and I want to encourage you and thank those of you who are about to get started, right, shortly after we finish here. So this is one of the 72 names, excuse me, one of the 72 names of God, 72 function buttons on our soul. And those of you who may be newer, let me just show you. This is one version, all 72 function buttons. They're each made of 3 Aramaic Hebrew nanoparticles of the light, universal. Chet Ayin Mem, to awaken the energy of circuitry, to be in constant contact with the light of the Creator. So just let those shapes be engraved in your mind's eye. Chet Ayin Mem. Sitting comfortably in your chair, on your seat, feet flat on the floor, hands in your lap. Take a few deep breaths, breathing in the light of the Creator through each breath. Hold it for a moment that it spreads from head to toe, internally, spiritually, and physically. And then exhale through the mouth, letting go, releasing whatever tension, blockages that you may be holding right now. Breathing in through the nose, hold it a moment, relax, exhale through the mouth. Allow yourself to rest in the light of the Creator, the infinite light all around and within us. The light of pure blessings, clarity, creation. And so, returning, breathing normally, we envision Chet Ayin Mem, just above your head, shining, radiating this light of complete circuitry, a constant, consistent, powerful flow of the light of the Creator. And as you let it enter through the top of your head, Chet Ayin Mem, feel it, see it, know, as you allow it to travel from head to toe, that it's unblocking your conduit of light, your pipeline from above, through you, and out into the world, into your life. A stronger, more powerful circuitry of light, rejuvenating, regenerating your beingness out of the darkness and into the light, letting the light flow spiritually through you, awakening the light in every aspect of your physical being, that it should be empowered by the light of the Creator. And the Chet Ayin Mem in heart, soul, and mind, strengthening your circuitry connection to the pure light and the voice of your soul and the actions of the heart of God within you. And so together we beam a ray of light, Chet Ayin Mem, out of our heart and soul to the heart and soul of your family and friends, awakening the light and their awareness of the light within them and their power of creation, that they will use it more consciously and proactively. And now send it through them to the heart and soul of every human being on earth, everyone. That whatever form of negative actions anyone on earth is doing is now being made clear, consciously clear, and internally uncomfortable and or painful enough that the heart of God in each of us and the consciousness of our soul in each of us is more powerful, is more clear, and guiding each of us to shine more light out, to overcome our desire for oneself alone, instant gratification, to go the extra mile of temporary discomfort for the consequence of greater peace, lasting fulfillment, unity among all humanity, taking away the darkness, taking away the blockages, taking away the divisiveness, and allowing a pure circuitry of light, the infinite light of the Creator, the light of creation in each of us, to be used only for greater love, kindness, and compassion to be shown out of our heart and soul 24/7 to every person on earth. That we are now taking away the cover of darkness, reuniting the heart and soul, the peace of the Creator in each of us. That as we unite more and more, removing the hell on earth by transformation back to the original Garden of Eden, heaven on earth for all. Chet Ayin Mem, awakening each of us greater clarity, hearing the voice of our soul and the strength to act on that voice. Let this be engraved fully in your heart, soul, and mind. Together we take one more deep breath, anchoring it, strengthening our commitment to the light, to peace on earth. And slowly exhale and open your eyes. Thank you for joining us today. Have an amazing day, a more elevated day and week and life. And may we see through our efforts the transformation taking place. Because as people are listening to their opponent, they are just robots. And if you and I and all of us in the center are shining light, spreading the Zohar, even scanning the Zohar and channeling light out to the heart and soul of all people, we will see the physical manifestations, greater love and kindness and compassion showing up more clearly throughout all the world. God bless. See you next time.